Hello Game Art students. In this video we're going to be creating our first blueprint that has code in it, or at least pre-made code. For starters though, I'm going to set up my level so we can start practicing some parkour. So I'm going to go to File, New Level, and I'm going to choose Basic. We pretty much never use Open World for the projects we'll be doing in this class because it comes with a lot of extra baggage for sort of open world games. So we're going to choose Basic, and I'm going to hit Create. And I'm going to go ahead and search my content browser here for floor and grab sort of this default floor object to put right beneath where my character spawns. I'm going to delete the big floor that is in the level. That way we have some void for me to fall into as I practice my parkour. I'm going to go ahead and save the level, save current level as. I'm going to put it in my content folder. I'm going to call it Level 1. Okay, make sure you don't put any spaces in file names. Unreal won't let you anyway, but it can mess things up if you somehow do. So I'm going to go ahead and make another blueprint, going to my blueprint dropdown, choosing New Empty Blueprint Class, and once again choosing Actor. In my Blueprints folder, I'm going to call this blueprint BP_rotator, which is what this initial platform is going to do. Here inside, we're going to add our first component, which is once again going to be a static mesh. I'm going to again grab the floor as a nice starter. I note that the default scene root here is at the corner of my platform, so I'm going to try to line it up in the center here, but we'll see how we can change this on the fly later. It's pretty close. And then the next thing I'm going to add in my dropdown, I'm going to scroll down till we see movement. And there are 4 default movement components. We have floating pawn, which is for like enemies that fly at you floating, like maybe a ghost or a jellyfish, something like that. Projectile is for bullets. Interp is what we'll be using later for moving platforms. And finally, we have rotating movement. I'm going to click it, and it's going to add it to my components. You can also just start typing rot, and it'll get us there, as everything is searchable as usual in Unreal. You don't have to scroll all the way down. And one thing you will see is if you click the simulation button right here, you'll see that our code already works. It does a thing. Okay? And what this is the rotating movement component automatically makes the entire blueprint rotate around wherever the default scene root is. And if we have rotating movement selected, we can look over on the right side and see these rotating component variables. So this is our X, our Y, and our Z. So currently this is spinning at a rate of 180 degrees on the Z axis. So if I were to change that to say 60, and hit my simulate, you'll see that it spins slower. We could also make it 0 and have it rotate on a different axis. You can also have it rotate on more than one axis at a time, though this platform would maybe be pretty hard to stand on. I'm going to go ahead and set it to 0, 0, 50 as my default. And then I'm going to compile my blueprint. If I go ahead into my blueprints folder, we can see I have my rotator here. And as I bring this platform out and put it ahead of us, if we play in the editor, we can see that our platform rotates, and we can jump on it, and we will rotate with it. Now, once again, the cool part about this is as a blueprint, we can make a bunch of changes to this without having to make multiple blueprints. So I can hold Alt to make a copy of this, and over on the right side, I can look at my rotating movement, and I can actually come in here and change this on the fly. Now when I hit play, you can see I have multiple platforms that rotate different ways. Even more cool, I can move the static mesh away from wherever the center is, and it will still rotate about that center. This allows you to have all sorts of complex platforms that rotate in different ways. And in fact, we could use this now as a obstacle instead of a platform. For example, if I grab the actual, make sure I'm on the actual blueprint sort of route, I can rotate the object and line it up in such a way that now it might come and try to knock us off a platform if I wait too long on it. Now, a little side effect of the way Unreal Physics works is if I don't move, it doesn't really force me. It doesn't move, it will move through me. But if I'm actively moving, like jumping and playing, it should usually push me. You could also do things like line it up in such a way that we could use it to get up. So potentially I could jump on top of it as it comes by. You could also have speedy ones that work like windmills or pushers or all sorts of things. On top of that, nothing says that this blueprint has to stay this floor object. I could go into the static mesh and make it something else. I'm just going to grab chair as an example. And now the chair could rotate around. So as you download different objects from Fab or from your asset packs, you could change this out and have all sorts of different rotators. In the next video, we'll look at making moving platforms using very similar code.